Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm Jim Brink, and we are one. Today, I want to talk about 5 things the next Steam Deck should copy from its competition, which happens to be right here. There's other ones coming out soon, but I think there is a lot that like the Ioneo, the Ein brands are doing and will be doing in the near future that I think Valve, Steam, and the deck should learn from. So before we get into it, also, there's a little bonus at the end, like I always like to do. Before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar. Now, we can talk about this very serious subject that's concerning our next deck, which we do know that they are making them, whether it be VR, whatever it is. So first up is an OLED screen. The Ioneo Air has taught me the ways of the OLED. I used OLED before. I think it's beautiful. But after using the OLED on the Ioneo Air, seeing my eyes bleed out from all the bright goodness, I would be remiss to not say I want to see it on the deck. And I really, honestly, day one, if they had a kit to replace this screen with an OLED, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because honestly, that's the number one upgrade I want on this device. Yes, I want a faster APU, I want better graphics and all that, but I really do want to see an OLED. I really like it, and I think the screen size on the deck is just so much better than on the Air. But that screen, the OLEDs, it's just hands down so good on the Ioneo Air. Also, what the Ioneo Air does so good that the next Steam Deck should do is include a larger M.2 drive bay. And that is essentially, you see this? That thing's pretty small. This thing's pretty big. This thing times 3 can fit into this. A 2280 can fit into the Ioneo Air, which is crazy. Now, that thing is packed. It takes a lot to take it out and upgrade it, but it's still honestly awesome that you can have a 2280. The nice thing about a 2280 is that there are more of them. They're more readily available. They're larger in size. You can get larger versions of them, and they tend to run a little cheaper per gigabyte or terabyte, however you want to look at it. So definitely, I think that they could do it. I think the deck could do it. It is a little packed in there, but they also worry about repairability. I think they could do it, though. So number 3 on my list now is the Ioneo Air, and some of the newer devices coming out have 2 USB-C ports, one on the bottom, one on the top. And honestly, why doesn't the deck? Really honest question. Why doesn't the deck? I know that it is pretty slick to have just one, minimal interface and all that, Apple-esque in some ways, until you look at the front with all the different inputs. Then you're like, I think they could put another USB-C in there. While I'm at it, the Ioneo Air doesn't do it yet, but the Lokis will, and some of the newer Ioneo devices will. And that is have USB 4. And with that can come eGPUs. So we'd be able to dock our deck. So if the deck did this, dock our deck into a dock that has an eGPU, let's say, attached to it, and then you could have a much more powerful graphics processor to play our games on. Now, there's other things that come into this with CPU and some other limitations, but still the idea is really cool. And I think it would be honestly a little bit of a letdown if they didn't include the USB 4 along with the 2 USB ports. Now, 4th item on my list, picture-in-picture mode. And this is where the Odin comes in. This is a feature, honestly, in iPhone and Android. I've used it more in Android as it's more readily available with like YouTube, where you can start watching YouTube and then go switch to something else, and you'll be in a smaller window, albeit, and you can watch while you do something else. And I've used this feature a lot on my phone, and I really like it. So I'd love to see something like that come to this, to where I could watch maybe some videos, maybe even while I'm working out a guide. Like, let's say if I want to install something, I'll watch a guide, I can watch it while doing. That'd be kind of cool. Also, there's certain games where I kind of have to grind. I'd like to be able to grind while watching some shows. And so picture-in-picture mode is awesome. It's definitely not one, well, it's even one technically, I guess, the Windows device could do. I haven't tried doing any games on the Windows device with picture-in-picture because there is an API for that, and there probably is one for Linux too, but I'd love to see something pretty native out the box that says, hey, this is an application, would you like to launch it into a smaller form factor down on the right or whatever, and you can move it around. Yeah, there's going to be some issues with it, but honestly, just some basic web browser functionality, for even if it was a web browser, I'd love it. Number 5 is a little silly until you really think about it. As gamers, we like to customize our rigs. We like to be able to change things and make things a little bit more personal. That's why we get skins and other things. And honestly, I feel like portable devices are even much more so, where you want to personalize it even more, as it's going to be visible to everyone else. The Ayaneo Air and the Ayan Odin both have glowing circular areas around their joysticks. So you can change these typically into blue glow, just different RGB elements, and have it pulsate, whatever it is kind of cool. And honestly, when you're playing in the dark, it's a double add to just have those there to where you can kind of see it. You can also turn it off, and at times it's kind of a cool way to show, hey, my battery's low, I'm charging, and different statuses of the device. I really like, I've come to really, really appreciate those features in the Ayan and Ayaneo products. And I kind of wish it had it with this. That being said, I don't know how easy it would be to do it with something like this, if it would add complexity, but it would be cool to see it somewhere around here. Maybe even the trackpad be clear with some pulsating LEDs. There's just ways that they could do it, and it doesn't have to be like cheesy. Now, the bonus round, as I always have, I feel like with a lot of these list videos, the bonus round is what to keep from the original Steam Deck. So if we get a Steam Deck 2, what would we keep on this? Now, I'm going to say a lot of it, honestly, right now, would I just bare minimum OLED and a faster APU when it comes out? That's it. But beyond that, I know other people want battery and more battery and a bunch of other things. But the Ayaneo Air has taught me that, hey, this has a pretty decent battery life for what you get. But trackpads, the repairability of it, like you can open it up, buy parts easily, keep those. Speakers, front facing, I like that. I do not like the way the Ayaneo Air or the Ayan Loki or Odin do it with the bottom facing speakers, as they just don't sound as good, and they sometimes sound really weird to my ears. It throws me off quite a bit. Also, the size. I know that's one that people might not hear. I like it. It's girthy. I can hold it, and it fits well. Now, that being said, if they want to shrink it down a little bit to better fit those bezels, or if they shrink it just a little bit, that's fine. I can live with a little bit. I don't want it to be the size of the Ayaneo Air, as the repairability and a lot of other things get drastically more complex. So, yeah, that's some things to keep. You're doing well, but definitely learn from your competition, Valve. Okay, let me know in the comments below, what do you think that Valve could learn from its competition, and what could they do to maybe even be above the competition? There's a lot of features, a lot of requests that I've seen throughout the comments and forums and all that, but it's not that I like the Steam Deck. I'm pretty satisfied with it, but I can't help but look towards the future and what's going to be coming next and add this list. I think it's really, really fun. I'm not yelling at Valve or anything. I don't think a lot of us here are, but might as well give out a little list of niceties that we'd like. So let me know what those niceties are in the comments below. While we're talking about down below, check out my other links and descriptions and just other stuff for like the Steam Deck or just other projects I'm working on down in that description below. With that, we've come to the end of the video. Check out my other videos if you want to keep on watching other good stuff on the Steam Deck. And also, I do cover other gaming topics and items too. So with that, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Later.